Well, it is Wednesday. Additional thoughts for Control System by Ab-Soul. And it's okay. I think for me, honestly, I like this album. I like what this album is trying to do. But I think the ambition of the album is a little bit more than what the album actually pulls off. And it was interesting to me on Friday after I'd posted the videos. I was hanging out in Discord for a while and just seeing people talk about the album and their experience with the album and their opinions of it. And it's a pretty wide range of opinion. You've got people who say, incredible album, super complex, very interesting, very different, very new. And other people who go, I don't think it's complex at all. I think it's boring. I think there's nothing going on. And then just lots of in between. And I land on the side of it's complex, and I like it, but it's complex. Or that it is not complex, not but. My issue, I think, with the album, if I was going to offer up any kind of criticism, is I feel like the lyrical content, the thematic content, like what Ab-Soul is discussing in these tracks is interesting. It is complex. The way he writes does have deeper levels and double meanings and all this other stuff. But then the production is pretty standard, safe. The production doesn't really do a lot in terms of grabbing my attention and holding my attention so that my brain can then soak into these ideas and these word plays that Ab-Soul has put into these tracks. I think a great example of that is Pineal Gland. I like that track. Got a heart next to that track. I liked it during the reaction. I still like it now. But when you listen to that song and what he's singing about, you know, I'm in a time and space where matter doesn't matter, repeating patterns and spirit molecules and all this other stuff, right? He's going off about this psychedelic trip. But then listen to the production. It's pretty standard sounds. There's nothing psychedelic or mind-blowing or trippy or anything that's really going on with the sound. And so the content, the lyrical content of the track for me kind of gets lost in the overall sonic message that the album or the track is. The track doesn't grab me in the same sense that the lyrics do. And so because of that, if I'm not really paying attention, and most people don't, and that's fine. Everyone gets to enjoy the music how they want to. But most people don't pay super, super close attention to every single word that's being said. You just listen to the sounds of the lyrics, the vocal performance, and the production. Like you kind of go, okay, I mean, yeah, it's fine. But there's no real reason to go back to it. So you don't get to sit and soak in the words and think about the ideas that he's experimenting with, you know? Another one was... there was one other one. Oh, Mixed Emotions. Oh, Nothing's Something. Nothing is Something is a track that I like. He's wrestling with these feelings of being upset, his thoughts being so focused on things that are not important. All of these nothings that are something inside of his brain, and it's a frustrating experience, and he's upset about it, and he's, you know what, fuck it, nothing matters anymore, I don't care anymore, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's calling him selfish and all this shit. It's a really interesting song. I like the song. I like what he's talking about in that song. And I connect with that. You know, I think we all can connect with that on some level. This idea of why are these fucking nothing ideas occupying so much space in my mind? Why do I think about these things when I know they're not important? But then listen to the production. It's not a lot going on. And so because the production isn't really grabbing you and the sound experience, you don't really get a chance to go back and listen to it again and listen to it again and listen to it again and start connecting with these lyrics. There were a couple times when I put this album on and I kind of had to force myself to listen to it. Now, once I got rolling with it, I was cool. But there were other times like, man, I kind of don't want to listen to it. There was nothing really sonically that grabbed me. Now, Lust Demons remains my favorite. Still love that track. A Rebellion, I still really, really like. That one, I feel like the production works well because it is a little bit withdrawn. It kind of fills the mood of this, you know, trying to stay calm. I'm trying to stay calm while I have these just insane thoughts in my mind. Inhale, exhale, stay calm, while he's also listening to it. That's the trip, that's the jam, that's the one to get me all fired up or whatever. I like that one quite a bit. Beautiful Death is another one where it's like, man, so really that's the overall story for me with this album is I like what Ab-Soul's doing. I like what he's writing about. I like what he's singing about. His wordplay is really good, in my opinion. There's a lot of comments about some of the things that I missed. I missed a lot of shit because there's a lot of shit in there. You can really like take apart layer after layer after layer in some of these lines that he's got. But overall, the production, I feel, and I want to be clear, I don't feel like the production is bad. It's not bad. It's not like I dislike the music, but I just feel like it's very conservative, pretty safe, standard sound that doesn't really match the theme of what some of these tracks are focusing on. Some homework for you. Just an example. I was talking about pineal gland and how it's this trip. Tool has a song called Third Eye. And at the end, he's screaming, prying open my third eye. Like it's this whole thing. It's like a 13-minute song. Put on that track. Listen to that song. That is a killer jam. Killer jam. BobThePopPop.shop for all your merchandise needs, by the way. Killer jam. That song, sonically, is a fucking trip. Total trip. Amazing song. And even if you're not into the lyrical content or what it's about, because it is kind of weird, the sound is just incredible. Incredible to me. I wanted to say that and I forgot to say it earlier. There's some tracks that I skip. I'm really not into Sopa, not into Showing Love. Tracks 1 and track 2, honestly, Solo Ho and track 2. For me, it kind of starts at Bohemian Grove. That's where I start settling in. I like Terrorist Threats with Danny Brown. I really like Danny Brown's verse. I feel like Danny Brown is very present in that verse. Him just being upset about the poverty and just everything that he's saying in that verse is really fucking good. Really well done. Double Standards is great. We were driving and my wife, I had the album on. My wife was listening and she just kind of caught the part where he's talking about, the sluts that have kids. And she's like, well, wait a minute. And I went, no. Look at the name of the song. It's called Double Standards. He's talking about this double standard. Oh, okay. Well, I like it then. It was just kind of funny that she caught half of it and was getting upset because he's basically putting the double standard on display and very well enough to make her upset. What's interesting to me the most is Illuminate and what was the last one? Black Lip Bastard, both with Kendrick. They're fine. It's kind of the first time where Kendrick's been present, and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. When normally I'm just all about it. I still think Kendrick's the best right now. I think he's the GOAT in terms of active artists. Not my number one. I won't say who is my number one, but there you go. I'll leave that out there because I'm sneaking up on some content ideas. I'm approaching 100 albums. So I'm going to do some content based around 100 albums into the journey thus far. There you go. I'm kind of back to saying the same thing. Cool album. I'm glad I did the album. Some people mentioned another one by Ab-Soul called, I think, Do As Thou Wilt or something like that. I'm into it. I like how Ab-Soul writes. I like the concepts that he puts forward. I like Control System because it makes me think about things that I don't normally think about. And it puts me into these like abstract places that sometimes I get to on my own from time to time. And I don't know how to process some of these ideas. And I feel like now I've got something I can listen to help just kind of untangle some of these thoughts that exist in my brain sometimes. But I just wish the production had a little bit more experimental side to it. I did yesterday. I listened to Injury Reserve, and by the time I get to Phoenix, what a fucking ride. What a ride. And I just thought to myself, man, if this album had something like that. But then again, maybe it makes it worse. Who knows? That's the thing about speculating with sound on songs and albums and stuff like that. I mean, you change one little thing, and it changes the entire experience. And it's not necessarily for the better, right? Anyway, there you go. Tomorrow is week 3 of the Buog. In my opinion, the best week of the month because it is the bracket elimination track versus track, 8 bracket elimination to get the winner from the 8 to compete with the other 2, the number 1 songs from week 1 and week 2, for a final vote on the top 3 to see who's the best track of the month. So if you can attend, if you've missed Buogs, if you try to catch Buogs before, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on YouTube. Last month was super fun. It was kind of a come from behind victory for Mr. Incognito. It was a cool Buog, seeing the votes come in and seeing them go this way and that. And then Friday will be Big Fish Theory. I did put a vote on YouTube. Big Fish Theory was up like 54 to 46 or something like that the last time I checked, which is impressive because it was against pretty much anything else, even though I didn't reveal what I was considering. And I'm glad because people had mentioned they liked that album, but it hadn't gotten a lot of recommendations. And so I was reconsidering it just because, do I pick an album that nobody cares about just because of, Slurpee being gone? I miss Slurpee. I ain't going to lie. I miss Slurpee. I miss that fish. We did get another fish, a beta, and it's like the complete opposite. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't care that we're there. It's just it's almost like a Lego fish just floating there sometimes. It's very strange, but whatever. So Friday's Big Fish Theory by Vince Staples. I look forward to that. And hopefully I can see you guys tomorrow night for the Buog Best of February. All right, y'all. Take care. We'll see you soon.